This team makes absolutely no sense. In my honest opinion, they just don't. After getting embarrassed in the first game of the doubleheader, they come out and they smoke Washington in this game. Well, understandably, they weren't going to get swept in the doubleheader. You're not going to get swept 2 games in a row by Washington. That's just not possible. But who knows with this team? It could have been possible. But the Phillies win the second game of the doubleheader. They win by a score of 8-2. They move their magic number down to 4 games. It could be a possible 3 if the Brewers were to lose to the Marlins, but right now they are currently winning by a score of 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th, I believe. Yeah, the Marlins were winning 2-0 for this game. Then Edward Cabrera left the game early with an injury after he was dealing for most of it. And then the Brewers came after the Marlins bullpen. Yelich hit a home run, and then back-to-back innings where the Brewers get the bases loaded. The first time they don't score. The second time they get the bases loaded, they weren't going to go away, quietly again. Where the Marlins, they brought in the bullpen pitcher. He was basically all over the place. A hit by pitch tied the ball game up, but then a force out basically gave the Brewers the lead at that point. And the Marlins, with their anemic offense, is going to be taking a miracle for them to even try to take the lead in this game. So most likely after today, you're still going to remain tied in the standings. After this win, technically you go up by a half a game on the Brewers for the third wild card spot. But if the Brewers hold out and win this game, which they most likely will, it's still going to be tied like it was this afternoon before the Brewers played the Marlins. So magic number is still most likely going to be 4, barring any miracles from the Miami Marlins. You won this game with the long ball, and Noah Syndergaard was pretty solid out on the mound. He gave you what you needed. He was solid, unlike Kyle Gibson. You hit the long ball a lot today. Kyle Schwarber hit 2 bombs, 43rd and 44th home run of the year. Bohm went deep. Marsh went deep. Veerling went deep, a triple and a home run in this game for him. So he had himself a really good game. So it's basically, I see Julian in the chat right here. Every time Julian says, oh, when they hit home runs, they win ball games. And they hit, 5 home runs in this game. So they were probably going to win after that type of total. So, yeah, they won. They won the first 2 games out of this 4-game set. Tomorrow's game is most likely still in jeopardy because it's supposed to rain the entire day in Washington. It's supposed to be raining hard. If I look at the forecast once again, because basically Mother Nature, it's very unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen with her. So the last thing I saw with the weather for tomorrow's game in Washington, D.C., it's going to start raining very soon. Basically, it's going to rain the entire night in Washington. And then as you go throughout the day tomorrow, the percentages go up. Tomorrow, overall, 59 degrees and a 92% chance of rain. In the daytime, cloudy with periods of rain, high 59, chance of rain 90%, rainfall near half an inch. And then you go towards nighttime, same thing, periods of rain, chance of rain 90%, rainfall around a quarter of an inch. So basically the explanation is it's going to rain the entire day. And the game most likely will not get played. So if the game's not played tomorrow, the day off for you, before you go out basically west to Houston and get a 3-game series with the Houston Astros, who are not going to be resting any of their starters. So tomorrow, Zack Wheeler is supposed to pitch tomorrow, but barring, the rain delay and the game possibly getting postponed and moved to a different day, if the game is postponed, Zack Wheeler is going to be pitching on Monday in Houston, to where your rotation sets up Zack Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and Ranger Suarez for the 3 games in Houston, basically going up against their 3 of the better starting pitchers in the rotation for the Houston Astros. And let me make sure who is pitching for them. So if the game gets postponed tomorrow, which if it doesn't, Wheeler versus Corbin tomorrow, but still, like I said, pending rain delay and everything like that, if the game does get canceled, your pitching rotation for this week against the Houston Astros is going to be lining up with Zack Wheeler versus Lance McCullers Jr., Rangers Aaron Nola versus Justin Verlander, and then Ranger Suarez on Wednesday against a to-be-determined pitcher for the Astros. So, basically right here, magic number's 4. You got 5 games left. Still, it's basically a combination of your wins and Brewers' losses, but Brewers aren't helping you right now by losing to the Marlins. So, you got to win your games. That's basically it. Like I said, tomorrow is probably not going to happen. So maybe the off day is needed before going into Houston. Oh, yeah, actually, it's 4 games left. What am I saying? Not 5. I don't know why I'm thinking it's 5 games left. Because after tomorrow, the Brewers have, so you and the Brewers technically have 4 games left after tonight. So you'll have this 3-game series with Houston. And then, like I said, bearing what happens tomorrow. If the game doesn't happen tomorrow, it's most likely going to be rescheduled for that Thursday after the final game against Houston. So basically, it's the final game against Houston. Technically, that Thursday is supposed to be a day off, and that Friday is supposed to start the wild card series for the MLB playoffs. That Thursday, if tomorrow is canceled, that's when the game is going to be rescheduled for, because most likely that game is going to have to be played, depending on what happens during the week in Houston and what the Brewers do this week against Arizona. And if we want to look at what the Brewers are doing this week against Arizona, look at their matchups, because why not? So let's look at the Brewers, see what they're doing this week with Arizona, the pitching matchup wise. I know Corbin Burnes pitched in this series, so he's most likely not going to be pitching with he's not going to be pitching against the Diamondbacks. Never mind, he is going to be pitching against the Diamondbacks. I guess one of his starts got pushed up. So yeah, the Brewers got 2 of their better pitchers going up in this series against Arizona, even though the Brewers still have a game tomorrow. Right now, one of their pitchers for tomorrow is to be determined, so they don't even have a starter confirmed for tomorrow's game. Who knows if that's going to be a bullpen game or not. And then it's Pablo Lopez for the Marlins. Hopefully that turns into a good game for the Marlins, and hopefully that turns out into a win. Looking at Lopez's past couple of games, 3 earned runs, 1 earned run, 2 earned runs, 8 earned runs, 2 earned runs. So hopefully he just goes out there and pitches a good game. Like I said, if Edward Cabrera did not get injured today, the Marlins probably would have won, because he was dealing. He was dealing before they got injured in this game. I think he had like 5 strikeouts through, I believe, 3-4 innings, if I'm not mistaken. If I am correct on that. Yeah, if I look at Edward Cabrera. Yeah, he had pitched 3 innings, 5 strikeouts. So he was dealing. He was absolutely dealing. I guess that's just a baseball god saying fuck you to the Phillies at that point. But yeah, Woodruff, Lauer, and Corbin Burnes. Zack Gallen for the Diamondbacks pitches in the first game, so that's going to be a tough game offensively for the Brewers. But the last 2 games for the Diamondbacks, I know they said they're not pitching Madison Bumgarner at all the rest of the season, so most likely they're probably going to be bringing up 2 pitchers from the minor leagues, I guess, just to make their debuts for those final 2 games. So, like I said, you can't, even though, like I said, during this entire stretch, the Brewers are probably not going to lose less than 3 games. They still got 1 more game to lose. Hopefully they don't prove me wrong, even though that's my luck. But, yeah, you can't rely on the Brewers to lose games because they're still fighting for that wild card spot. You got to go and win yours. You got embarrassed today. Even though you won game 2, you got embarrassed in the first game. Kyle Gibson was absolute dog trash, and he can't be pitching any more important games for you. That's just bottom line. Noah Syndergaard out there was solid. He did what he had to do. He did exactly what he had to do in this game. 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits allowed, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts on 78 pitches. He was solid. That was basically it. That's all he had to be. All he had to be was solid. Then Brogdon came in, threw 1 pitch to get out of that 6th inning. And then Christopher Sanchez pitched the rest of the game. 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, which were in the 9th inning. 1 hit, 1 walk allowed on 1 strikeout on 47 pitches. So that basically saved the rest of your bullpen for today. Look at the lineup. Kyle Schwarber had himself a really good game. 2 home runs and went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Rhys Hoskins 1 for 4. Bryce Harper went over 4 in this game. Alec Bohm went 1 for 5 with a 2-run shot. So he had 2 RBIs in the night. Brandon Marsh had a solo shot, so he went 1 for 4. Gene Segura went 1 for 4. Bryson Stott went 1 for 4. Matt Vierling went 2 for 3 with a 2-run shot, and he also had a triple in this game. And then Garrett stops playing, went over 3. In terms of runners in scoring position, Phillies went over 5, but that's what helps when you hit 5 home runs in the game. That's basically the overall standpoint of that. Yeah. It's just, it's still a sour taste. It really just is. Like I'm not jumping for joy at all. I'm just annoyed. I'm really annoyed. Because you got embarrassed in the first game. Kyle Gibson was trash. Your offense was very anemic after it got off to a good start and then struggled to hit Anibal Sanchez, who is 38 years old and throws a fastball of 89 miles an hour. You got embarrassed. Yeah, you responded in the second game winning handily, but You have so many chances this week to seal this deal. You get swept by the Cubs. Yeah, you win Friday, but then you lose today. You win tonight. You had so many chances to lower that magic number. Mightily. Just annoying. It's incredibly frustrating. Magic number is 4. You still control your own destiny, but magic number is 4 with 4 games left. So that basically means, barring the Brewers don't lose another game the rest of the year, you got to win every game, and that's not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen when Houston is playing all their starters. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen at all. Like I said, it's bearing a miracle that Florida wins in the top of the 9th, because they're going to the top of the 9th right now, but they're facing Devin Williams, and that's not guaranteed. Williams almost blew the game yesterday with the bases loaded, but he managed to get out of that situation. Hopefully, after throwing a ton of pitches in yesterday's 9th inning, maybe he's a little gassed, then he coughs up the lead, but that's not guaranteed. I'll stay maybe on for the stream for a little bit longer just to watch the rest of that game. But overall, it's just this Phillies team. Like I said, they make no sense. They make no sense whatsoever. Really. But honestly, with tomorrow's game, it's not guaranteed it's going to happen. So most likely, if that game is postponed, which I do believe there's a 90% chance that that game is going to get postponed and move to Thursday. That's what I would just assume at this point. You have to win. Have to win. You have nothing to blame but yourselves. Because you went into this 10-game road trip, 2 straight series to start off against 2 teams that are below 500, and you got swept by the Cubs again. That alone. You only have yourselves to blame for this entire stretch. Only yourselves. You could have sealed this entire thing by winning a series against the Cubs and then, getting the job done here in Washington. But nope, you got to rely on going to Houston. You got to win those games. Not guaranteed because they're playing their entire lineup in Houston. They also clinched home field advantage for the entire AL part of the postseason. So they're the best team in the American League. So go figure. But yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. When you don't win your games, karma can be a bitch. And that's basically what's going on with the Phillies right now. So if we look at the entire Houston Astros, everything here, what is it? Astros, they're 103-55 on the year. They're the number 1 seed in the American League. Look at their entire roster just in general. So let me go back to maybe their past couple of games here. So right now they're playing the Tampa Bay Rays. So let's look at their lineup. Why not? Just overall, so we know everything that's going down here. So let's go to this game just to check their lineup out. So for the Astros, Jose Altuve batting .295 on the year. They got, Jeremy Pena, who could be a Rookie of the Year candidate for the American League. Yordan Alvarez, who's an absolute stud, batting .303, and he has 37 home runs on the year. Absolute stud right there. Alex Bregman, batting cleanup, batting .260. Kyle Tucker, who's a stud. Yuli Gurriel. They got, I don't know who that is, Diaz, McCormick, Myers, Maldonado. Overall, it's just, they're a good team. They're a World Series contender for a reason. You can talk about the cheating and everything like that, but still, yeah, they went through the years of sucking. They drafted good. They developed good. They won a World Series because of it, cheating or not. They did cheat, but they've been a really successful organization basically since, 2016, 2017. They've always been the top of the league. Really, the only year they've been bad recently is the COVID-shortened season, and they still got to the ALCS with 7 games. So, just got to see what happens. And it looks like Devin Williams just led off the 9th inning with a walk. So, who knows what happens there? Who knows what happens in that situation? But I still believe tomorrow's not guaranteed to happen. Like I said, 90% chance the game's not going to play tomorrow. So right now, basically, you're just looking over to Houston at this point. Still 4 games left. Tomorrow's not played. It gets moved to Thursday. Most likely that, like I said, that game's going to have to be played on Thursday just because there's no guarantee that the Brewers lose every single game going here on out. It's just not possible, in my honest opinion. They're probably going to at least lose one more game, or maybe two, but they're not going to lose every single game. They're not. They're just not, especially when they have Woodruff and Corbin Burns pitching against Arizona. I just don't see that happening. The only way the Brewers do lose games is if their offense goes completely quiet. And yeah, they're not the best offensive team, but they got really good pitching to, I guess, factor that out. But that's still a reason why they're a wild card team and not a team fighting for the division. So, but still, you got to win your games. Got to win your games that are in front of you. And you haven't done that. You just have not done that at all. You started with that Cubs series, man. Just everything died there. Everything died there. You had such a great chance to seal this thing away, lower your magic number by a wide margin going into that Cubs series, and you didn't. You get swept by them. Your magic number is what, still 7-6 going into this series? Yeah, you lowered it to 4, but you've been bad. You just have not been good. It's bottom line. And nothing but yourselves are to blame. That's why fans aren't buying into you. That's why fans don't believe in you. That's why fans hate you. I'm one of the more optimistic people here, and I've lost hope just because of how this team's played. It just feels like they don't care. It feels like they don't want to succeed. It just doesn't feel like that at all. And now knowing that the Seattle Mariners, they clinched their postseason spot to end their 20-plus year drought, and now knowing that you're the longest drought in Major League Baseball now with 10-plus years, makes it more frustrating. It really does. Just really does. Imagine if they went 4-2 this week instead of 2-4. So frustrating. I just don't see them winning multiple games in Houston. Yeah, I understand that feeling. I completely do. Take a rain out tomorrow and let Wheeler go in Houston. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Gut feeling they're making it. You never know. The math's still there. The Brewers definitely aren't going to win out. They're going to lose at least 1 or 2 more games. There is a chance, but still, you got to win the games that are in front of you. You can't always rely on the other team to lose. It's just not sustainable. Just isn't. Wheeler should pitch Monday anyway, pitch anyone else tomorrow. I don't think they have anyone else available for tomorrow. Just thinking about it. Because really, they were setting Wheeler up for tomorrow so he could be ready for a wild card game if possible. But most likely tomorrow's not going to happen. You're going to have to be forced to play him in Houston. But at that point, as Joey Wendell strikes out to get 1 out in the inning, Joey Wendell is a terrible batter against Devin Williams. He did the same exact thing yesterday. Got more confidence in San Francisco beating San Diego. Imagine it comes down to a makeup game in Washington to make the playoffs lovely. Yeah, that would stress me out a lot. That would definitely stress me out. And the Padres, they have been losing too, so they're not playing their best baseball. They've lose 3-4 in a row, I believe. So if I want to look at the standings as a whole, just a look at the wild card spots and everything. How many games has San Diego lost in a row? They've lost 3 in a row. They're still a game and a half up in that second wild card spot. If they were to lose, it would go down to a game. But still, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed at all. Currently, they're tied 1-1, I believe, with the White Sox. So, like I said, nothing's guaranteed there. Nothing is guaranteed. And it looks like the Braves won again against the Mets. So I think first place officially belongs to the Atlanta Braves for now. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does. And I guess that game just ended. So it could be that the Braves either are 2 games up or a game up. It's one of the two. Definitely one of the two. Is that something there? Let's see. Atlanta Braves win 4-2. Made up a 10.5 game deficit on the Mets to move in the first place as they try to win their 5th consecutive NL East title. That's from Bob Nightingale. Okay, now Atlanta's in sole possession, so they're officially gaming up on the Mets in the first place in the NL East. So we'll see what's going down there. Atlanta Braves won that series, so we'll see what happens with the NL East division. If it goes to the Braves or the Mets, someone's trying to steal second base, and he did. Is that Birdie that stole second base? So the Marlins have a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and the count is 2-2 to 2-0 to Brian Anderson, I believe. So Marlins have a chance with runners in scoring position here. Tie the ball game up, hopefully. We'll see what happens. Definitely we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Magic number for the Phillies. Magic number is 4, Brian. So even if they somehow back into the playoffs, you'll lose Wheeler and Nola. Yeah. At this point, if you're going to get into the playoffs, I just want to end the drought. That's all I care about at that point, if you get into the playoffs. This team keeps sucking back in, but don't be fooled, fellow fans. Oh, I'm not fooled. The versus the Astros, all of their starting pitchers have ERA below 3. Also, congrats to the Mariners for breaking their record. Cheers to that. We know all about Houston. Same as 2003. Well, I was very young during 2003, so I don't know what the Phillies season was like in 03. Phillies struggle to score runners in scoring position without the use of home runs. That was sustainable. Yeah, they've been struggling basically this entire month with runners in scoring position. Flyers are embarrassing. They're 1-2 in preseason right now. I can care less about preseason games for the Flyers at this point. I can care less. Until the regular season happens, I can care less about preseason. You have to think positive if there's still a way it could happen. It's just this team gives us no reason to be positive at all. It just doesn't. They gave me no reason. I've tried to be positive all year, and I had a reason to be positive all year. But this entire month of September, basically the last 2 weeks, I've had no reason to be positive. No reason. And Devin Williams just walked his second batter of the inning, so it's first and second with 1 out. And I'm not sure who's coming up for the Marlins. So basically, Devin Williams is doing the exact same thing like he did yesterday. Basically, a carbon copy. What is our situation with our money with the Phillies to get better players for next year? There's money coming off the books. I'm sure Dave Dombrowski's going to do whatever he can. I know there's like all the ties to them with the shortstops next year. Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, and everything like that. So Dombrowski's going to do his stuff. There's going to be a lot of work that has to be done this offseason. So if you want to try to purge all the losing culture from this locker room, a lot of players, you got to see what happens. What else? BB needs to shorten the season. Too many games. Nobody's even going to games this late with bad teams. World Series could end in November. I don't think they're ever going to shorten the season. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I told you the Braves would pass the Mets. Oh, I believe that was going to happen overall. I was going to believe it. So if we lose out by a game, which loss during the season sticks out the most? Oh, there's a lot. You get the 7-1 blown lead to the Mets. What else? Getting swept by the Cubs twice. So losing that season series without a win. Not winning a single series against the Mets. Getting swept in the season series by the Texas Rangers, only winning 1 game to the Giants. That whole West Coast road trip at the beginning of September. There's a lot of losses that stand out. A lot of them. If the Phillies don't make the playoffs this year, do you think Rob Thompson will be the manager next year? Coin flip, I guess, on that. Coin flip. No matter what they do next year, if they don't make the playoffs, no fan will. Oh yeah. It's going to be basically it doesn't matter what they do in this season, basically overall next year. They're going to fuck it up in September. That's basically it. What is our cap space for the Phillies to get better players for next year if they don't make the playoffs and get a better manager? If we don't keep this one, a lot of money comes off the books. They're losing Gene Segura, which is a lot of money, basically. I think he's making $17 million overall. As De La Cruz is swinging at every single pitch possible. 0-2 count to him. What else? Yeah, Segura comes off the books. Didi's full contract comes off the books. You lose Kyle Gibson. What else? There's a couple of guys in the bullpen that come off the books. I think Knievel comes off the books. Hand comes off the books. Robertson technically does. Who else? There's guys. And most likely, if you make some trades in the offseason, you'll have room to get other players as well. So, like I said, Dave Dombrowski is going to do his due diligence. He's going to make a lot of moves, I believe. I still trust in him. He's basically the only guy I trust in right now. So, De La Cruz, 0-2 count to him. Ball 1. 1-2 count. Still 2 runners on, 1 out. Hopefully the Marlins do something. Let's see. Okay, so we got some comments right here from Rob Thompson in the post game. What do we got? 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 Somebody's talking about Syndergaard in there. Helps the player right away. Maybe blah 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 blah. People are, I guess, they're asking about the game tomorrow. They'll wait. No question. We want to play. Well, it's obvious. Let's see. Let's see. 1-2 count to De La Cruz. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Here's a pitch from Williams. And that's a wild pitch. That's going to move the runners to second and third. 2-2 count. Marlins, he's doing everything possible to allow you to tie this game. We lose Kyle Gibson. How will they survive? What would be the point of getting rid of Hoskins and Realmuto? How does the losing culture even impact a team? It's full of, this entire team is basically full of guys that haven't won. Hoskins has been here basically for every collapse. JT he's played for the Marlins, so he's never made the playoffs. Every year he's been with the Phillies, he hasn't done anything here. Okay, here's the next pitch from Williams. That's ball 3. So 3-2 count to De La Cruz. But yeah, Gene Segura is the player in baseball that has played the most games in the league without making the playoffs. So that basically summarizes it right there. Bryce Harper, yeah, he made the playoffs basically every year. I would say all but 1 year with the Nationals. I think the 1 year they missed the playoffs is when he got injured, like halfway through. But yeah, every year he was with the Nationals, he made the playoffs. Or actually, maybe the 1 year they didn't make it was his last season, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, De La Cruz, that's a single. Oh, the Marlins might take the lead here. Yelich just bobbled the ball, and Marlins take the lead. Oh, Marlins take the lead. The Marlins take the lead. The Marlins took the lead. Devin Williams blew it. 4-3 Marlins. 4-3 Marlins. Marlins took the lead. Oh, boy. De La Cruz went down 0-2 in the count. Devin Williams got it back to freaking 3-2. He threw a wild pitch, which moved the runners over the second and third, and De La Cruz gets an RBI double, which Yelich bobbled. Interesting. Brutal loss by Milwaukee if they lose. Yeah, I'm not sure. I understand your, ride or die Devin Williams, but he threw 30-plus pitches yesterday. Especially after the Grand Slam. This team would be better if Gibson was in his Rangers form, if Castellanos was in his Reds form. Those two have really held this team back. Gibson, honestly, if you guys want to look through some stats, over like the past couple, Kyle Gibson has worse numbers than Jake Arrieta in his time in the Phillies uniform, I believe. Let me see. Let me ask one of my friends because he has one of those stats. Actually, let me go to his Twitter. Let me go to his Twitter. Overall. Let's see. Overall, Kyle Gibson. Here. Wait, is it here? Where's it at? It's something about Kyle Gibson here. Where is it at? Here we go. Some recent Phillies starting pitchers with better ERAs in their tenure than Kyle Gibson. Jeremy Hellickson in 52 games had a 4.09 ERA. Jake Arrieta had a 4.36 ERA in 64 games. AJ Burnett had a 4.59 in 34. Jared Eichhoff had a 4.15 in 80. And Roberto Hernandez in 23 games had a 3.87. Just like what happened last night or the night before, Seattle Mariners were losing. One of their players came up and hit a home run in one game to clinch the playoff spot. Yeah. The Mariners, they were going to clinch. Everyone knew they were going to make the playoffs this year, in my honest opinion. I know they got off to that slow start, but then they won 14 games and they made that huge trade at the trade deadline. I feel like they were going to pitch it. Maytime pitches better than Gibson. Gibson should never pitch again. What frustrating it seems every time he's imploded with 2 outs. Yeah, exactly. The amazing thing is Gibson in the first half was fine. He was fine in the first half. Second half, he's just, especially September, he's like bad. It's been bad. He has a 90 ERA in September this year. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not sure why Milwaukee went with Devin Williams again. Like, he almost blew the game yesterday through 30 plus pitches, and he basically did the exact same thing here. He just this time actually blew the game. So I'm not sure why they did that again. And the Marlins still have a chance attacking a run here. They got a runner on second with one out. So let's keep watching this game. The Marlins still have to get 3 outs, though. Who are the batters coming up for the Brewers in this game, in this next inning? Who was their last batter in the last inning? Who was their last batter? Who was their last batter in the 8th? Taylor or McCutchen? It was Taylor or McCutchen. Okay, so it's their top of the lineup. Joey. Top of the lineup. Nice. Which offense is worse in your opinion this month? Brewers, Phillies, or Marlins? Honestly, I know, Julian, you're saying San Diego's worse than all. I think it's a tie between the Brewers and the Dodgers. Both teams have really good pitching. Their offenses are anemic, though. Very anemic. So the Brewers just got a second out there. Miguel Rojas with a runner on second base, 2 outs. So let's see what happens here. Can Miguel Rojas, the Philly killer, help the Phillies out here? Who even comes in the 9th inning for the Marlins at this point? Miguel Rojas the opposite way. It's going to be caught. No, never mind. It's foul. It is foul. And it's a foul ball, barely, almost fair, but it was foul. Has another chance. 1-1 count there. Yeah, we did do better on the mound, but not with tonight. Definitely did. Definitely. Are we going to see you tomorrow after the Eagles game? Yeah. Yeah, definitely going to see me. And Rojas grounds out to end the inning, but the Marlins did take the lead. Whoever's coming out of the bullpen for them to close the game, Yelich, Adames, and Rowdy Tellez come up for the Brewers in the 9th. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Common theme is that acquired players become worse after having career seasons. Segura was better with the Mariners and Diamondbacks. Arrieta was better with the Cubs. Castellanos was better with the Reds. Honestly, Castellanos had like a career second half with the Cubs when he was traded there, too. Like, Castellanos in his entire career has always been a good hitter. Like, this is his worst season of his career. Like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know if the pressure of Philadelphia has gotten to him. I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you at all. Overall, I just can't. Just can't. Yeah, we'll keep the stream going until this Brewers game ends. So we'll see what happens. Eagles might be playing. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to be playing in the rain. Definitely going to be playing in the rain. Can't wait for that game tomorrow, though. Definitely can't wait. Doug Peterson returns. Eagles 3-0, have a chance to go 4-0. Let's see what happens. At 1 o'clock, CBS. I know Avante Maddox is injured, so he's not going to be playing. So they're going to have to make some decisions there with the defense there. And who to replace in Avante Maddox's spot. So someone's going to have to step up in that situation. And just wait and see at that point. But I think tomorrow could be it's going to be a weird one, though, because of the rain. Definitely the rain can, like, you're going to have trouble preventing turnovers and stuff like that. So Hurts is definitely going to have to be efficient, more likely than not. They're probably going to have to utilize the run game more since it's raining. So you never know. Schwarber was also better with the Cubs in his full last season. Syndergaard was better with the Angels. Only people that haven't been affected are Alvarado, Realmuto, Stubbs, Harper. I mean, Schwarber's really been good this year. I don't think Schwarber's been an issue. He's got 4,400 home runs. This is a career year in home runs for him. So I don't think Schwarber's been the issue. I know a lot of people have a problem with him being in the leadoff spot, but he's got 44 home runs. I think he's far from the issue. Okay, 1-1 count to Yelich. Trey Sermon playing tomorrow? What do you mean there, MP? Yelich, that could be an out, could be an out, could be an out, and he is out. One out for the Marlins. One out. Grounded one to shortstop. Oh, yeah, Boston Scott is out too. I forgot about that as well. So Miles Sanders is going to be relied upon as well. I do think the run game is going to have to be more utilized tomorrow, just with the rain and everything, because I know passing the ball is probably going to be difficult with the rain. I trust Jalen, though. I trust Jalen Hurts to do the right things. Okay, here comes Willy Adames. Has probably been the Brewers' best hitter this entire month. That's strike one. What would be the chance to get Charlie Manuel back as the manager? That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. I don't think the dude even wants to manage anymore. Too old. Too old. I think he's fine with his. I think he's like a senior advisor, I believe. I think he's fine with that position. Well, that was the same exact pitch, and you didn't call that a strike? Okay, 1-1 count. Uh, 1-1 count. Willy Adames, whoever this pitcher is for the Marlins. I think it's Blyer, his name is. Oh, that might be 2 outs. 2 outs. Rowdy Tellez coming up. I'm scared of Rowdy Tellez. Tellez scares me. Okay. Here's the pitch. That's strike one to Rowdy. 2 outs for the Brewers. Here comes the second pitch. That ball way inside. Blyer is the guy with 3 balks. Oh boy. Gregorius was better with the Yankees. Well, that's given. McCutchen was better with the Giants. I say he was better with the Pirates. Wheeler is definitely better ever since he signed with the Phillies. Strike 2. Oh, looks like the Brewers lost. I'm watching the MLB TV stream, and I'm seeing everything with Twitter being ahead. So, Phillies' magic number is down to 3. Down to 3. Yeah, that was a bad loss by Milwaukee. Very bad loss. Saturday night, we're watching Marlins games. So when the Phillies sign players, we just have to pray the Phillies don't mess them up. Well, it's just the fact. Well, Schwarber's been fine this year. I don't think Schwarber's been an issue. I don't think that's a problem. I know Castellanos has been, Knievel was fine. Then he got injured. Who else? Stubbs has been good. JT's been fine overall, but I still think he's kind of, still kind of a, because he didn't take the vaccine, and he basically gave out on his teammates. But still, Phillies matching numbers down to 3. It's not a good way to live. Mets have had so many contracts work out. Lindor, Diaz, Canna, Escobar, Bassett. Yeah. Can't do anything about that. Jesus, your freaking magic number could have been 2 today if you didn't freaking get embarrassed this afternoon. Yeah, you roll the dice with free agents. Definitely. You roll the dice. Damn, this stream is really behind if Twitter's saying the game's over. I still want to see what happened. Did Tellez strike out or something? Or he grounded out. Grounded out. Even though we already knew the magic number was 3. I just wanted to see what happened. So what does that mean? The Phillies are now a game ahead of the Brewers in the wild card standings? Could have been a game. Could have been 2 games. No, it could have been a game and a half. Yeah, right? Yeah, game and a half. Could have been. But you got a break. You got a break. Milwaukee lost. But still, that's another thing where you weren't able to take advantage of. Even though, yes, winning 2 games in a doubleheader is impossible, but it's not impossible, but it's not likely to happen. But just go by the loss column. Yeah, so after that loss in the wild card, Phillies are now a game ahead of the Brewers for the wild card. 1 game ahead, and we also own the tiebreaker. Yeah, two games technically because of the tiebreaker. And right now, San Diego's they're winning 4-1 against the White Sox, so I'm not even worried about that. So your magic number is officially 3 with 4 games left. Lose 2 games out of 4 and win it, but honestly, I don't think that's sustainable. you got to win at least 2. I would like to win 3, but it's not guaranteed, especially when you're playing Houston. But 3, down to 3. Don't fuck it up. You know, it's very likely. So, I think that's where we're going to end it tonight, boys. Tomorrow's game, still very, very iffy if it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, which most likely means the game will be rescheduled for Thursday. And if that happens, Houston is the next team you look at. Houston is the next thing we look at. So you got Eagles tomorrow. Possible Phillies game if it doesn't get postponed. So we'll see what happens. So thank you for joining tonight's stream. Do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. We'd like to see those. Do not forget to hit that like button. Also, check out everything in the description. Painted Lines, BrodesMedia. I recommend all of that. Also, I want you to hit that subscribe button. It goes a very long way. Join the TTP Sports family. It goes a long way. Definitely do it. And also use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Use it for anything you can think of. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining tonight's stream. And I'll see you tomorrow.